Are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
It's been too long.
Yeah? Yeah, well, it hadn't been a long time. It just feels that way.
Feels like
yeah.
it does. I'm ready.
I'm glad you are. Hey, folks, welcome into I stay ready. Welcome into 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Welcome into this edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. He's Jimmy Bryant, Ph.D. That means he produces, he hosts, and he directs. And
that's right.
Do you experience brain drain?
I think so.
You do?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
I'm just putting the words together.
Yeah.
So I think
You think you do? Well, we've got one of your very favorite life strategists here, Donesa Walker from Learning Rx.
Yes.
So, Donesa, do you think Jimmy experiences brain drain? Or can you tell that by just looking at him?
All experience brain drain at some point or the other. So it depends on what we're doing about it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk about, because it's amazing how quickly it seems this school year has passed. I mean, we are what? Within 2.5, 3 weeks? Seniors are already out, aren't they?
Seniors are already out, and we've got about 2 weeks left.
And summertime's coming, and even though summertime doesn't seem as long as it used to be, you can still get the old brain drain. So we're going to talk about that this evening here on Strategies for Living, and Denise's going to help us, as she always does, talk about strategies that we can bring to bear so that brain drain doesn't have to affect your child or you.
That's right.
This summer. That's all ahead here on Strategies for Living, presented by LSU Shreveport, where you can stay close and travel far. We're also brought to you by Learning Rx. We're brought to you by Azalea Cleaners. We're brought to you by Pintail Roofing. We're brought to you by Cannabis with Love, by the Robinson Film Center, and by Shreveport Little Theater. Back in a moment with our life strategist, Donesa Walker, today here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us.
As a senior and the current SGA president at LSUS, I've experienced firsthand what the university has to offer, including a welcoming campus, flexible class options, and 24-hour academic support. Facilities such as the Cyber Collaboratory and Idea Space are designed to prepare students for the 21st century workforce. That's why LSUS is the fastest growing higher ed institution in Louisiana. Visit lsus.edu to see how you can stay close and go far.
If your child has ADHD and reading issues, Learning Rx Shreveport can help. I'm Donesa Walker with Learning Rx Shreveport. More than 30% of children with dyslexia also have ADHD. That can make reading very difficult. At Learning Rx Shreveport, our brain trainers can improve your child's long-term memory, auditory processing, and logic and reasoning. Today, call Learning Rx Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning Rx Shreveport.
When the power goes out in a storm, the last thing you want to learn is that it could take days to get it restored. So, here's something to learn before the next storm. Kohler generators fire up automatically within 10 seconds of a power outage, so your house will stay warm and the lights will stay on. When it comes to reliability, nothing beats a Kohler generator, even in the storm of the century. Find your Kohler generator at Precision Mechanical Power Services in Bossier City. Call 318-746-8147 or visit precision24.net.
Welcome in. Welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Jimmy Bryant, David McMillian. Let's welcome officially to the program now one of our very favorite life strategists. She is Donesa Walker. She's the owner, executive director of Learning Rx, has a master's degree in education, and is a master reading teacher and dyslexia specialist, currently pursuing her doctorate in psychology.
If I ever get it finished.
Yep. Coming along, though, right?
It is, definitely.
30-plus years of teaching and administrative experience, as well as certification and training and lots of OG-based dyslexia programs. And we are so lucky, blessed, that Donesa decided I'm going to open Learning Rx here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana.
15 years.
Wow, does it seem that long, or does it seem like just yesterday?
Some days it seems like it's been that long.
Depends
as I age
on the
and my
day.
Back hurts,
there
but
you
yeah.
go. Donesa is and was the first board-certified cognitive specialist in the state of Louisiana and in the Learning Rx system. And the reason I say we're so lucky is because, you have to travel. If you'd have to travel a couple hundred miles, almost a couple hundred miles to the west to find a Learning Rx.
A lot further than that now, because there's none in Dallas anymore.
Oh, wow. Okay, and what if we're going east? Got to go to Georgia, right?
Yes, all the way to Georgia.
You can travel south as far as you want. You're not going to find one. So we are so lucky that you decided to bring Learning Rx to Shreveport, Bossier City. And, we use the term impact on this program all the time, Donesa. 15 years and thousands of lives impacted positively by Learning Rx and your brain training team.
We average about 126 students a year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That I would say that's made quite an impact.
Yes.
On this area. So thank you. And welcome back to Strategies for Living.
Thank you.
So the summer brain drain, is it a real thing, or is it just something for us to talk about?
Very real. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that we still haven't really recouped all of our learning loss from, COVID shutdowns. And,
right.
And so that was a big push over the last little while. But summer brain drain has been around long before COVID. Right. It was something that was around just because we tend to take the time off. We tend to, not engage during that time. And
now, some of the schools give the reading list and do you've got to read 2 books over the summer, 3 books over the summer, whatever it is. Does that help?
It does. So actually, and that's something that we do at Learning Rx, we have the reading chart and the reading, our whole community has come together for a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. We launched in March, and it goes all the way through the summer. We have really spectacular opportunities for students to read for prices. And they can read and get a donut. They can read and get a slushie. We call it chill and read.
Oh, I love it.
You go to hashtag chill and read and print out charts. But we also added an adult chart so the adults can participate.
Ooh.
And win things like a tomato plant from Lexus Plant Farm.
I like it.
And, good exercise routines free, all kinds of fun, nice things, cooking classes and all kinds of different opportunities just for reading a book or reading to a group of children, on the chart. So really it's just about encouraging reading in our community and catching other people reading. And that is one of the primary ways that we can actually avoid the summer brain drain is actually participating in that. All of our local libraries have summer programs here, and there's a lot of opportunity for people to engage in the reading process.
Right.
And I get that kids are tired of the academic year. They're tired of the grind.
Sure.
And they want a little bit of a break, but there is still a way to go about structured learning throughout the summer that doesn't have to be like you're sitting in school all day long, but is still preventative and helpful for the summer.
How often do you get the question about tutoring? So learning RX, I do, aren't you just a tutor? Aren't you tutoring? How often do you get that question?
Oh, every day, multiple times a day.
All right. So what for people, because I know we have a lot of people that know who you are,
Sure.
and have heard you and heard your commercials, but then there's other people that may be listening right now that think they know what Learning RX is, but may not really know what Learning RX is. So you're the executive director. You brought it here. What is it, and how is it different from tutoring?
So tutoring is content specific. It's reteaching specific content because someone struggled with the content.
Right.
Okay. So
What was actually being taught?
What was actually
how to do
being
this
taught.
math?
Maybe
how
they
to,
missed a step, or
Yeah.
maybe they were out sick. Maybe they just didn't grasp, the knowledge the first time. So it's reteaching content knowledge. What Learning RX does is we actually look at the underlying skills. So think of what we do as foundational.
Okay.
And the foundation has to be solid in order for you to build a nice house on it. Otherwise, there's cracks in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And the cracks in the walls may be what you're pasting over and putting new wallpaper up and all of that with tutoring. And the cracks may actually just keep coming back.
getting
and so
bigger
you're
and
tutoring
bigger.
year over year. And that just keeps happening. I have families that come in and the child is 12, 13, 14 years old, and they've been struggling since, second grade.
Yeah.
And they've been tutoring, and now the gap has gotten too large and they can't cover it up with wallpaper anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the easiest thing to say, as far as, in a short synopsis, is we're brain trainers. We identify the underlying weak skills of the brain, and we
you have a
retrain the brain.
scientific way to go about identifying
Correct.
where those cracks are, what needs to change in the foundation.
Absolutely. So we do a Woodcock-Johnson test or a Gibson test. Both of those are cognitive tests that tell us where the strengths and weaknesses are, whether there's, a processing issue or a long-term memory issue, an auditory processing. I have people tell me all the time, well, my child's really smart, so they can't struggle to read. Well, that's not true.
Right.
You can have, a 118 be a gifted IQ and struggle to read, or you can have a 118 and have no struggles.
Right.
You can have, a 79 IQ and have no struggle with reading.
Right.
Your IQ doesn't necessarily determine how deep or big your struggle is, but your IQ is simply an average of your cognitive function. So if you are at a 79, you are struggling.
Right.
But you may still be keeping up with your class.
Can brain training improve my IQ?
It absolutely does. So just think of it as your IQ is an average of your skill set. If I improve your skill set, I improve your average. I mean, if I trained you to do better at golf, you would improve your golf game, right?
You mean I wouldn't be throwing golf clubs up into the
Just
trees?
saying, it would get much better. And so if your golf score got consistently better, your golf game got consistently better, then your status in the golf game, in the golf world, would go up. So I'm just saying, that's the same thing as what you look at when you look at these skill sets. I mean, everybody understands the whole concept of, if you can't swim, you learn to swim. And then if you want to become a marathon swimmer, that you have to swim and practice it. And then the more you practice, the better you get. Well, the thing happens with the brain the same way. You just need to identify what's holding you back from becoming the very best you that you can be.
Can everybody benefit from brain training?
Sure,
from
everyone.
young to old?
Everyone can benefit from brain training. And that's, just from a personal experience, I benefited, and I had 2 master's degrees at the time that I went through brain training.
Yeah.
And, it was enormously. I had no idea that a visual processing weakness meant that you struggle with directionality. But I had struggled with directionality my whole life, and I struggled with some mathematical processes, and I just had embraced the fact that I was bad at math. And so I avoided it.
Yeah.
Instead of actually understanding that there was a reason why I struggle with math, and that is something I actually could change.
We are we're talking about brain drain. Get your brain in.
Brain
I may need some brain training after this. We're talking about preventing brain drain today with Donesa Walker, our life strategist. I tell you what I do want to talk about. I want to celebrate a little bit.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah, 15 years, 15 candles is what goes on the Robinson Film Center's birthday cake. It's their 15th anniversary. And, you know, tomorrow is Give for Good. And
That's
so
right.
there's
Yeah.
going to be a big 15 Candles birthday celebration at noon tomorrow at Robinson Film Center, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. There is no place like the Robinson, really isn't. There's going to be an RFC trivia game. There's going to be bistro specials. There's going to be happy hour specials happening from 4 to 6. It's all taking place to celebrate 15 years. And how can we give back to the Robinson? Well, we can give for good. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is where you find out what's playing right now. Join the crowd. Join the fun. Become a member. Get discounts on movies, concession upgrades, bistro deals. RFC 617 Texas Street, RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, billing, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable hours and increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4-LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go to learn more.
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Donesa Walker, our life strategist from Learning Rx in Shreveport. Learning Rx, a lot of people know, out Uri Drive, a little past LSU, Shreveport. Exactly how do I get to you?
Well, if you're headed south, then you just head south on Uri, and we're there on the right, just a little bit past what used to be the old Ethan Allen. We're next door.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
find the blue curb.
There
That's
you
where
go.
We are, the blue curb.
There you go.
Next to Escape Shreveport.
Yeah, a lot of people know where Escape Shreveport is.
Yeah, big signs, all that fun stuff that's there. But we've been there a little bit longer than they have, but that's all right. They're on the end where everybody can see their signage.
There you go. There you
See
go.
it. Yeah.
So this, on average, the brain drain thing you were saying, the percentages you gave during the break are just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Share them with us.
Well, about 50%, 52% of students lose 39% of their learning during the summer.
52% lose almost 40%
Correct.
of what they've learned during the school year.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes. So there's a couple of reasons for that. One, Some of the information was not solidified.
Right.
It wasn't put, it was just
And by
kind of
solidified,
touchy.
you mean cognitively.
It wasn't taught deep.
Right.
It was taught shallowly, or they were
Scanned
not
over,
able.
yep.
They had weak cognitive skills and were not able to take it all in.
To take the information and really
Really lock
embrace
it
it and
in.
use it
Sure.
as their own.
Sure, yeah. And so that's a lot of the struggle, is that a lot of the students lose it because they are actually not solidifying it in like they need to, rehearsing it and reviewing it and getting that, that at-home affirmation of that
Right.
happening for them. And that's that at-home affirmation is AKA homework.
Right.
Just for those of you who don't know that. So when we look at it and we say, okay, well, what is happening over the summer? Well, on average, children are reading less than 20 minutes a day. They're not putting in time to read. They're not getting that reaffirmation. They're not building vocabulary. They're not doing those things that are growing their brain.
Right.
So it's just kind of stagnating. And just
Right.
think of it like, if water, if you don't have water running, it stagnates and it gets stinky, and
Absolutely.
things grow in it. So this is pretty much what happens in the brain, is the brain gets a lot. And unfortunately, in today's world, and we live in the hot throes of Louisiana, so most of our kids are going inside and playing video games, and video games actually trains your brain backwards on attention skills. And so a lot of times we have that. There are some benefits to video games. Understand, I'm not knocking them all,
Right.
because they do build some visual processing skills. But we have a loss of imagination because we're spending more time on a game that
Why should we
creates-
imagine? The game does it for us, especially with the
Exactly,
fantastic graphics that are
Exactly.
given
yes.
today on most
and
of the games.
there's so much feedback to the brain. The brain's getting so much dopamine, being rewarded constantly by
Right.
playing those games.
Maybe even a bit of an overload.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So children are not learning to wean themselves. They're not learning to self-articulate, self-control. And so we have a rise of attention issues and problems as we go back into the school year that is profound.
Yeah.
And that's very concerning, considering that Louisiana has twice the national average of students on ADD medication.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I come to Learning RX.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to help my child with the summer brain drain?
So the first thing we do is we do an assessment to find out where the strengths and weaknesses of the brain are, and then we design a program one-to-one around your child's needs and skills. So we do have exercises that have been proven to work through research that has been very profound, and some really great research that has just come out in the last couple of days, peer-reviewed research that shows that on average in 6 months we get a 4.1 year growth in reading.
4.1
Years.
growth.
That's correct.
In just,
reading skills
in just a few months.
in less than 6 months.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So 120 hours of intervention, which is pretty incredible. And from the point of perspective that on average a child's growth in reading is 0.8 during an entire school year. For us to get 4 years,
That's incredible.
in just a little over a summer is
And
incredible.
the kids have fun. I mean, it's not like
Sure.
going into school.
No, and
Yeah.
that's actually key to it. Believe it or not, we do know that learning through play only takes 2 times, where learning through drill takes 10 times.
Right.
So if you're having fun with the learning process, it takes a lot less for you to learn than if you are not having fun in the process. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that every child just jumps up and down with joy coming in the door at Learning RX. That's
Right.
not the truth, because some of them have struggled for so very long that the whole idea of starting a learning process feels threatening to them.
Right.
But most of them, after they've come for the assessment, understand that it can be fun. And they understand that the assessment itself is done in a fun and game-like manner. So they come in, they experience that, and it's a positive uplift, and then they're willing to give it a shot.
The brain trainers are one of the keys to that, and you've got a great staff from
I do.
Carla and Caitlin and Carmen and Amy and
I
Jean
have a really
and
amazing
Lyle.
staff. I
Yeah,
do. I do.
yeah.
I'm very, very blessed. God has blessed me a lot with a really great staff, and they are. Their heart is very much in it. They care about each and every one of their students so much. In fact, we had a little graduation the other night, and one of the biggest things about the young man and his changes, he had embraced his dyslexia and, got massive change. But one of the reasons why he got massive change was because he totally knew that his brain trainer was in his corner. And every time he had an event or, performed in a play or whatever, she showed up.
Yeah.
She went out of her way to be at his events and to attend those
special.
things. And yeah, we care. We care about our kids a lot. We show up for those things, and we
And you
want them to
celebrate,
know. We
and
do.
you celebrate
Every day.
the milestones along the way,
Every
and
day.
especially the graduating. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a lot of hard work that a lot of kiddos put in, and it's rewarding for them to see that they have no confidence to being completely confident. It's rewarding to watch children who had no idea that certain letters make sounds to come out reading beautifully. I mean, I trained a student right before I came here today, and he came to us just a few months ago at 13 years old, completely unable to read, did not know sound and letter connect at all, and he's reading at a second, third grade reading level already. Now, you may not be impressed with the 13-year-old reading at a second or third grade reading
But what
level.
a massive change!
What a huge change for this child.
And what a massive boost to that young person's self-worth, self-esteem,
Yes, and
sense
his
of self.
potential in life.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is
Yeah.
that what is your potential in life, and how much can you change that potential to a direction that you want to go.
Absolutely.
So-
And again, I would imagine, I'm guessing that that young man will continue on and be back and make further gains and further
Oh,
gains.
absolutely. Yeah. He's not finished with this program at all. So, but he is, made significant gains, and like I said, in just a few months. And so that's been pretty incredible. That's been incredible for his mother to see, and she's a teacher, so
Oh,
she,
wow.
She knows.
She
and
sees it. Yeah.
She sees it. She sees the difference. And I think that it's a very big deal to see that. As a mother myself who had a child who struggled, I do see the massive difference. And it is life-changing. It is life-changing for them to do it. I mean, I had my son struggle with mathematical processes just like I did. And he went from struggling and hating math one, semester to the next making 100 in calculus. I mean, who does that?
Wow.
And that's incredible, And so I
Yeah.
do know that, big change makes a big difference. And I love that it's not limited to children. I love that I have adults who are coming in who are recapturing their youth. They're recapturing their own brain. They're recapturing their own skills. They're being able to refine their own brain again and not having to, feel put out to pasture
Absolutely.
by certain things. So I think that's an incredible experience too. being
So
able
there
to
are
do that.
programs for elementary school level, middle school level, high school level, college level, and
Absolutely.
adults.
Yeah. Well, because it's all individualized, there's no fixed or set path. So it's just like going to a gym for your body. Your path is not fixed when you go to a gym.
Right.
You have goals and you set, trajectories that you want to make and you want to go. And
And you
then
check
you
out
have a
along the way,
personal
okay,
trainer.
where
Yeah.
am I? Yeah. And that's that's the benefit of the one-on-one. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're not coming in and just sticking somebody in front of a computer.
Not at all.
There's a brain trainer, a one-on-one
Right.
relationship between the client and a trainer.
Sure. And there are actually, we do have individualized games that they can play, so they can still play some video games on a computer at home and in center that do give them that added, benefit of technology. So we do have that piece also available, but that the core is the one-to-one. The core is the push of the trainer and the push to get there, and then those that engage in the digital capacity also, they get that individualized setup on the digital portal also. So
sometimes, it's a struggle, and we boost the educators here.
Sure.
But sometimes it's a struggle, and school can be a struggle. Sometimes people wait a long time to say, what's going on with my child? Is this child, does this child have an attention problem? Is there dyslexia or some other reading or math disorder? Is there a speech disorder? What's going on? One of the things, you can get quick help at Learning RX. And again, you may wait weeks and weeks and months even to get the school testing.
Absolutely.
Learning RX can do it immediately.
Well, and the thing about it is that we're not about slapping a label on your child. That's not our goal. Our goal is looking at what is the underlying cause and being able to
and how can we
help.
address it? Yeah.
How can we help that to make that more beneficial for your child? Because the one thing that all of our children have that we never can get back is their time. I've heard that to a child, love is spelled Time. Well, it's so true, is that they want our time, but they also want to be able to have time to be a child, and time that's away from the academic struggle and fuss. And if you can make learning an easier process for them, then they can learn easily. We had a little guy, Collins, and his grandparents just did a little testimonial. It was really fabulous because they were sharing with us how much he struggled from second grade and how they'd spend hours and hours and hours at homework, and how it changed his world so much when he started over the summer in Learning RX. When he started the fall of the school year, all of a sudden he wasn't having homework come home, and they were super concerned at first because they're used to hours of homework,
going on?
And they checked with the teacher, and the teacher said, well, he's getting it all done during the school day, and so he's not having any.
He's not, because that's typically how it goes nowadays. Right. Nowadays they give opportunities for the kids to do their work at school, but what doesn't get done at school comes home.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he was doing that and went to honor roll and got to be on honor roll all year long, and that's incredible for someone who's struggled their entire life and now, getting to be on honor roll. That's a shout out. That's a big deal for them to get to say, I have achieved this and I can do this, and so that's a big honor. It's a really big honor.
Now, the training you mentioned in center, but there's also some online training available. If someone lives, let's say, oh geez, I'm on the other side of the world from Learning RX, what do I need to do?
Well, we have a lot of students. In fact, I train 2 students here in Minnesota twice a week, and
oh wow,
they're fun. They're brother and sister, and I train them back to back. But they wanted to have intervention, and there wasn't a center in their area. Yeah, and so we actually did a virtual assessment with them online, 1-to-1, and then we signed them up for their program, and we actually deliver their services virtually through Zoom. And they interact with me 1-to-1 through the screen and have seen fabulous
So again,
growth.
The brain trainer is still 1-to-1,
correct,
even with the online training.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. You're still 1-to-1. You're interacting. You're using Annotate. You're actually engaging in games and activities. And so we have a lot of fun doing that. It's fun for me too. It keeps my brain sharp.
Absolutely.
I enjoy doing that.
Win-win-win. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
If you want more information about anything we're talking about this evening, 318-797-8523. That's Learning RX's phone number. If you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, 318-797-8523. That is the number that you can get all of your questions answered. And I bet if one of the staff that answers the phone can't answer your question, I bet you Donesa Walker will.
I'll do my very best.
We are talking with Donesa Walker this evening as our life strategist here, talking about the summer brain drain. Let's talk about something that's been going on for 101 years plus, talking about the Shreveport Little Theater. I told you it was going to sell out.
I agreed
told
with
you
you.
it was going to sell out, and it did. And
You're a prophet.
yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know about that. So, look, the summer musical is coming up at Shreveport
Yeah.
Little Theater. American theater at its best, and it's anything goes. It'll start July the 21st, run through the 30th. Tickets are on sale. ShreveportLittleTheater.com, 812 Margaret Place. Shreveport Little Theater has been enriching our lives through the performing arts for 101 plus years. Now, the new season, the 102nd season, kicks off in September with Always Patsy Cline, a tribute to the music of Frank Sinatra in October and November, My Way. The Wonderettes are back with Winter Wonderettes in December. Dial M for Murder in February and March, and then Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville next April. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. Go check them out.
Give for Good is here, and your gift is needed now more than ever. This giving challenge is led by Community Foundation of North Louisiana to raise unrestricted dollars for nonprofits in our community. The final day to donate is May 2nd, but giving is open now. Simply look for your favorite organizations, add them to your cart, and check out all at one time. It's just that easy, and every donation makes a difference. Show North Louisiana's giving spirit at giveforgoodnla.com now through May 2nd.
Wasting all my time. 'Cause when you're standing on
And welcome back into
lose my mind.
Strategies for Living. We're talking about fighting the summer brain drain today with Donesa Walker here on Strategies for Living. I guess we shouldn't say fighting. We should say engaging.
Yes, getting some tips.
Getting some tips.
Summer tips to what we can be doing to do that. You know, the craziest thing, the easiest thing that every parent can do, and the most surprising thing
What's that?
most is hydration.
Really? Simple as
Hydration.
making sure that you're getting enough and your child is getting enough water.
Yeah, it's the number one reason why we see short-term memory loss that accelerates over the summertime is because simple hydration is not taking place at the level that it needs to take place.
Oh, but I give them so much. I mean, every time they come in, I give them a Coke.
It's the fact that we are giving them lots of the other beverages
Yeah.
and lots of the lovely. I mean, who doesn't like having a snow cone every once in a while,
Sure.
or an ice cream or something like that?
But am I
good-
actually getting the hydration from
That's
my
correct.
snow cone?
Yes,
right?
we need to have some good old H2O and need to have an ample amount of it. And most people don't realize that you need to be not only having half of your body weight in ounces of water, that's just to maintain. And so if you're not doing that in summer, it's 1.5 times. So if you weigh 100 pounds, that means you need to be drinking 75 ounces of water.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a lot of water.
I got to do some big multiplication figures over here.
I need to pick up the
it's
pace.
something that you really have to do. As I sit here with my Coke in front of me, it is really, that's for the caffeine for Monday. I'm just confessing.
There you go.
Monday caffeine high. Anyways, the point of it is that we do need to hydrate more and more for our brain, because it does affect our learning experience. And a lot. And when we get busy, we just don't think about drinking.
Yeah.
And if we're inside in the AC, we don't feel hot and overheated and sweated down, so we don't drink. And then that becomes a perpetual loss.
I'm thinking that's a lot of value added with Learning RX. And again, folks, 318-797-8523. The center is at 8856 Uri Drive in Shreveport. If you're going south, it's past LSUS on the opposite side of the road, 8856 Uri Drive. But there's value added in that, again, this one-on-one. So each one of you brain trainers, and you actually do some brain training yourself.
I do.
You're part of the
lots
staff.
of it, yes.
And but you get to know each individual.
Correct.
And again, there's the value added. You can, in terms of the getting to know the person, well, little things like this. How much water do you drink? And that can be a game.
And it's not just the kiddo.
Yeah.
It's the family, too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's a family issue, or, something else that's going on, interactives, behaviors, different things that you need to be doing or changing. And sometimes those are the small added, pieces to the neurodiversity that you really want to build into their, their cycle and their repertoire to build their skills up.
Donesa, how much does the research say that Learning RX and the tools, the strategies that are presented, what does the research say in terms of how much it helps?
Well, depending on how many hours that you're actually doing intervention, but average gains over a course of 6 months are topping 3.7 years across the skills. So if you look at skills and efficiency and boosting those, I mean, some of our skills we boost 5-6 years: visual processing, reading skills, 6.31 for auditory processing.
Right.
4.1 for the word attack. So lots and lots of years, and that's research based. I mean, you can go and look at all the research that is on our website. There is an incredible amount of research, both RCT and peer-reviewed studies that show all of the different gains, and for all the different groups of people,
from young to old,
and those by diagnoses and that sort of thing also, because it's different. A gain for an ADHD brain and a dyslexic brain are different. And,
absolutely.
A gain for someone who's struggling with memory or dementia is different than that for a young child who's just trying to get to magnet school.
You can help ADD, ADHD. You can help someone on the autism spectrum of disorders. You can help, we mentioned dyslexia and reading disorders, speech disorders, if there's memory loss going on. On the other end, this can be a boon for gifted students too.
Absolutely. Yeah. We see a lot of kiddos that come in they want to boost an ACT score, or they want to, get just a little sharper before they head off to college. That's probably one of the biggest things I see right now for my seniors that are already out of school, about to get ready to head to college. I'm seeing a lot of seniors who are coming in for a summer, what we call a cranium camp.
Right.
And the cranium camp is a short, intensive 6 weeks where they come and they boost their skills right before they head off to college in how to study and how to take tests and how to do the things that are going to set them up for success in college, so that they don't have the freshman loss.
What if there's some time during this past year there's been some type of injury, some type of brain injury, or a concussion? Lots of kids playing lots of different sports.
Yeah, so that's again another area that we can refine your skills. So we just need to do a test and see if it's impacting your short-term memory or long-term memory, or where your brain has been impacted, and then, work on building those skills back to where they need to get.
So when you come, it really all starts with the assessment.
It does.
Yeah.
It starts with the assessment and finding out where your strengths and weaknesses are. And some people have already had that assessment, and we're not opposed because we give a Woodcock Johnson. If you have an assessment from, another source,
Like a psychologist or
right.
with
As
the
long as it's
school.
within the last year, then I would be more than happy to use that. And as long as there's not been any trauma since that testing
Right.
was done, because we do see that. We do see that there's some trauma. Let me just say, I encourage every parent and every adult, I don't care who you are, even if you don't want intervention, you should do the assessment. Because if
You get
there's
valuable information and a ton of it
and
that you
a
can't get
baseline.
anyplace else. Yeah.
And a baseline. That's the key, is the baseline. I mean, understanding where you are and where you can go can help you embrace that. But also, if something, God forbid, were to happen in the future, you would have a baseline of where your skills are to prove
Right.
that you actually had some, something that was lost.
Right.
And so that baseline's really incredible to have in place. It's super valuable.
318-797-8523. That's the number to call. You will find, well the folks at every team member at Learning RX is going to embrace you from the time you walk in the door until the time that they're celebrating with you and your child or you. And there's a graduation ceremony going on.
Yeah.
And they're here to help. 318-797-8523. I'm so again, I'm going to repeat myself. We're blessed. We're blessed that you decided one day, whenever it was, maybe it was downloaded to you. I think I'm going to learn about Learning RX, and I think I'm going to bring it to this area. And thank you for doing that, Donesa Walker.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. We'll have you back again and again.
Sounds great.
That's
All
right.
right. We will be back. More strategies for living.
Hi, this is Lisa Janes, Director of Sales for Shreveport Bossier's Town Square Media. We're adding to our team of sales professionals and may have a place for you. This position isn't for everyone. It's hard work, but also fun, fast-paced, and can be very financially rewarding. Town Square Media works hard to provide a total media plan for our partner clients and help them grow their businesses. Our client success determines our success. If you have past media experience with agency and direct business, want to make more money, and want to grow your career, apply today at ShreveportJobs.com. No calls, please. We have an excellent training program and won't just kick you out the door and tell you to go make a living. We offer all aspects of marketing for businesses, including websites, broadcast, video, display, programmatic options, and more. Town Square Media is on the grow, and we have excellent benefits. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer. Females and minorities are encouraged to apply. Send your resume today to ShreveportJobs.com.
Breaking news and trending talk. 710 AM. 1017 FM. KEEL. Shreveport, a Town Square media station.
Welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Jimmy Bryant, David McMillian, Donesa Walker, our life strategist. What is your brain's hidden potential? What is it? How would you know? 797-8523. Go visit Learning RX. You can find perhaps what that hidden potential is, right?
Unlock it.
Unlock your brain's hidden potential. And it's there. We all have it. We're not using, I mean, I know we used to say we only use 10%, 20%, whatever the percentage is. But the fact of the matter is, whoever we are, whatever we do, we can grow.
Sure.
We can grow and
grow, change, remake our brain.
Absolutely. What do you want to leave us with this evening?
Just want to say that the biggest thing is embrace who you can be. Don't settle for who you are.
I like that. And if you want to find out who you can be, well, Learning RX and an assessment just might be in order for you. 318-797-8523 is the number to call. Donesa Walker, or one of her wonderful staff, is who to go see at Learning RX. Donesa, thank you so much. Again, I can't tell you thank you enough for what you've brought to this area. We use that word impact a lot here on Strategies for Living. And when I begin to do the math, and I probably need some more brain training in math. That's not my greatest thing, but the impact when I do the multiplication, it's a big number of the number of lives and families that have been so positively impacted with Learning RX. Thank you for all you do.
I appreciate it.
And she's an author, folks. How many books you got out now?
Well, there's officially 3 out, but there is about 3 more that should be dropped by the end of the month.
Okay, so can I find those on Amazon.com?
You can find them on Amazon. You can go on Facebook, Books by Donesa. There is a website there, Facebook page that shows the different books and as they're coming out. So the first one was Oceans of God's Love.
And it's a beautiful book.
It's a devotional. And then Heart Twinkle was one written for grieving moms, really, and children who are born after.
Yeah, fantastic. We're going to talk more about those. Thank you, Donesa Walker. Folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living, presented by LSU Shreveport, where you can stay close and travel far. We're also brought to you by Learning RX. We're brought to you by Azalea Cleaners. We're brought to you by Pintail Roofing, by the Robinson Film Center, by Cannabis with Love, Hempress, 3766 Uri Drive, and by Shreveport Little Theater. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Donesa Walker and for Jimmy Bryan, I'm David McMillian. See you next time here on Strategies for Living.